All right, let's talk about one of the most famous brain teasers of all time. It sounds so simple on the surface, but the answer is so counterintuitive that it literally started a nationwide debate and fooled some of the smartest people on the planet. This is the Monty Hall problem. Okay, so picture this. You're on a game show. The lights are bright, the crowd is roaring. In front of you, three big identical doors. Behind one of them is a brand new car. Behind the other two are goats. You've got to pick one. So what do? Go ahead, pick one. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, you pick door number one. Okay, but here's where it gets interesting. The host, and this is key, he knows where the car is, walks over to one of the doors you didn't pick. Let's say he opens door number 3, and it's a goat. So now there are only 2 doors left. Your original choice, door 1, and the other one, door 2. The host looks at you, smiles, and asks, so, do you want to switch? What's your gut tell you? Almost everyone thinks, okay, 2 doors left, it's a 50-50 shot now, right? And that's the beautiful trap of this puzzle. That gut feeling, it's completely wrong. And hey, if your brain is screaming 50-50, don't worry, you're in some very, very smart company. To really get why it's not a coin flip, we kind of have to go back in time and look at the absolute chaos this puzzle caused when it hit the mainstream. This all blew up back in 1990. Marilyn Vos Savant, who at the time was in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the highest IQ, was asked this very question in her column. Her answer? Simple, unambiguous. You should always switch. And how do people react? Oh, they lost their minds. The backlash was, well, it was massive. I'm talking thousands of letters, a lot of them from people with PhDs in math and statistics, flooding in to tell her she was an idiot. They insisted it was 50-50 and that she was confusing the public. One guy actually wrote, "You are the goat." I mean, the level of condescension was just off the charts. And it's the perfect example of how our own brains can trick us, how our intuition can be so wrong, even when we feel 100% certain. So, okay, what is going on here? Why isn't it 50-50? Well, the secret isn't some crazy high-level math. It's actually about just looking at the problem a little differently. Here's the trick, the absolute key. You have to stop thinking about 3 individual doors. Instead, think of it as 2 groups. There's your door, which from the very start has a 1 in 3 chance of having the car. And then there's the other doors group. Together, those 2 doors have a 2 in 3 chance of hiding the prize. Right from the start, when you make that first pick, you've got a 1 in 3 shot of getting it right. Simple enough. But that also means there's a much bigger 2 in 3 chance that the car is behind one of the doors you didn't pick. Hold on to that 2/3 number. It's locked in, and it's the key to this whole thing. Now, this part is absolutely critical. The host doesn't just open a door randomly. He knows where the car is. He will always show you a goat. He's giving you new information. He isn't resetting the odds. What he's doing is taking that big 2/3 probability that was spread across 2 doors, and by showing you a goat, he's basically filtering out the junk, concentrating that entire 2/3 chance onto the one single door he left closed. Okay, I know. For some of you, your brain is probably still fighting this. I get it. It's weird. So let's try a different thought experiment. One that makes the answer feel totally obvious. Let's just game this out, okay? Every possible scenario. And let's say you're stubborn, you always pick door 1. So, scenario 1, the car is behind door 1. You stay, you win, you switch, you lose. Bummer. But scenario 2, the car is behind door 2. The host has to show you the goat behind door 3. You switch to door 2, and you win. And scenario 3, the car is behind door 3. The host has to show you the goat behind door 2. You switch to door 3, and you win. See? 2 out of 3 times, switching is the winning move. The odds are literally 2-1 in your favor. But if you're still on the fence, this next part is going to be the clincher. Let's blow this problem up. Forget 3 doors. Let's do 100 doors. You pick door number 1. You know, deep down, the chance you nailed it on the first try is tiny, right? 1%. Now imagine the host, who knows everything, walks down the line and opens 98 other doors. And behind every single one, a goat. Now he turns to you. It's just your door, number 1, and one other door, let's say number 73, still closed. He grins and asks, so, you want to switch? I mean, come on. What do? You switch. Of course you switch. Your initial pick had a measly 1% chance of being right. That meant there was a 99% chance the car was in that other group of 99 doors. The host basically did you a massive favor. He used his inside knowledge to eliminate all the duds from that 99% group, and now all that probability is piled onto that one single door. You'd be crazy not to switch. And here's the kicker. The math, the logic, it's exactly the same with 3 doors. It's just less obvious. Okay, so the math checks out. The 100-door example makes it plain as day. So why? Why do our brains fight it so hard? Well, it turns out this isn't just a math problem. It's a psychology problem. First off, there's this thing called the symmetry heuristic. We see 2 doors, and our brain just defaults to 50-50. It's a mental shortcut. Then you've got the endowment effect. The second you pick a door, it becomes your door. You feel a sense of ownership, so you automatically value it more. And that's followed by its buddy, the status quo bias. It just feels safer to stick with what you've got. Changing feels risky. But honestly, the biggest psychological trap here might be our deep, deep fear of regret. Think about it. If you stay with your first door and lose, you can just say, "Oh, shucks, bad luck." It's a passive failure, an error of omission. But what if you switch and the car was behind your original door? Oh, the pain. That feels like you made a stupid mistake. That's an active failure, an error of commission. And we will do almost anything to avoid that feeling of self-blame. Now, there is a really important bit of fine print here. This whole 2/3 advantage only works if the game is played by a very strict set of rules. This strategy is only a winner if you know for a fact that the host always knows where the car is. He always has to open a door you didn't pick. It always has to be a goat, and he always has to offer you the switch. You mess with any one of those rules, like if the host is just opening doors at random, then the whole thing falls apart and the math totally changes. So, at the end of the day, this isn't just some clever party trick. It's a fantastic lesson in something called Bayesian thinking, which is really just a fancy way of saying you start with what you know, like that 1/3 chance, and then you adjust your beliefs when you get new, solid information, like when the host conveniently shows you a goat. And that really brings us to the final takeaway here. This puzzle was never really about the car or the goats. It's about how we process new information. And it kind of makes you think, right? What other things in your life feel like an obvious 50-50 toss-up, but might actually have a hidden better choice if you just knew how to look at the information in a new way?